Day 7 of the Turning 21 vlog. My birthday's tomorrow, and I decided to do this one today. I have an actual subject, like the last two were just like, randoms. That's why I didn't even bother actually setting up to, you know, do it like I normally do most of my videos with the, wall as the background, and it was just me in my room. But the subject for this one is, family, and in particular, family that, I wish could, be in my life at this point. 'Cause, a lot of family members, a lot of people deal with different stuff. You lose family members for a multitude of reasons. It could be, death, which is mainly my reason, family members that died, so I don't have them in my life anymore, or, never had them in my life, unfortunately. And for other people, it could just be, some people just leave. It's just sad stuff. It happens. But for me, there are certain family members I wish, I got to meet, and I wish were here to, see me grow up, and not just so they could see me, but mostly so that, I could see them and know them better than, you know, than what I did if I knew them at all. Because there are a lot of family members I never really got to know. And, one family member I wish was, still in my life is my grandfather. And he died when I was really young, so I don't remember too much about him. But, like I wish he could have still been here. Like my uncle, who is his son, just got married, so it would have been really nice if he was here to see that, of course, too. But it would have been nice to just grow up and, have memories of him more than, the little bits and pieces that I do have from, when I was so young before he died. But, obviously I wish he was here, and, it's not really, like, none of this has to do with, him being here for, like, my 21st birthday or anything like that. It would just be him being here in general, in my life. And my other grandfather, who my grandfather on my dad's side, I never got to know him because he died when my father was 18. So, I never got to meet him. I just, hear the stories from family members and things like that. And I just, like anyone would, I wish I could have known him too. And then, I have uncles on my mom's side, one who was alive when I was born. So he did, he saw me, but obviously I was like, one, like either zero or one or two. So, there'd be no memories of him, in my brain. I don't really remember anything from that time. But, I wish he was here. Could have gotten to know him. And once again, it kind of sucks not having any memories of anyone. You can only know them based on the stories you hear. And it's the same, kind of like, when you learn about ancestors, that type of thing. But it's not as sad when it's ancestors because, that's like hundreds of years ago. So obviously that's completely different than, someone just happened to die really young. So, it's different. And I guess more than anyone, grandfathers or uncles or anyone else would be my sister, who died before I was born. And her birthday's in October too. It's October 29th, and she'd be turning 24 this year. And, it's just, I've always thought about that, ever since I was a little kid. That's a huge part of my life, more than anyone else. A sibling would kind of be in your life more than anyone, because that's generally someone you're living with. And so my life would be completely different had she, been in my life. I would have lived in different places, met different people, probably gone to different schools because I lived, in different places. And it just makes me wonder, what would my life have been like if she was alive, and just how different would things be? And obviously, just her being family, and, just the same as everyone else, grandfathers and uncles. I of course wish she was here, but I think it's just more of a connection because she's my sister more than just my uncle or my grandfather. It's kind of like we were, I don't know, I guess on the same level in a way, if you think about it. And so that's why it would always affect me more than anything else. I just always wanted, or always wondered, what would my life be like if she was in it, because, she wasn't. So, that's always in my head, day in and day out. What would things be like? And, would I be different? Which I probably would be, because there'd be, I'd have a sister who would be like another influence on my life, who I would live with all the time. It would probably change, my attitude towards, different things. And obviously I would know different stuff because, she would know stuff that I didn't know. So I'd learn random things from her, just like you learn random things from anyone, regardless of whether or not their family, just family, friends, even random, like a commercial. You can randomly learn things in life from random things. But when it's like family or a close friend, you tend to learn extra stuff. It's not like a one random thing your whole life. You learn a ton of different stuff that you might have never been exposed to. Like I have my own interests. She would have her own interests, just like any other person in the world would have their own. So I would learn random stuff from her, and she wouldn't learn anything useful from me because it's all just like nerdy random stuff in my head. But she'd probably laugh from that, like a lot of people do, because I'm just different than a lot of people that I meet. Anime and stuff like that. But just always wonder how things would be with family members in my life that I never got to really know, either at all, or in my grandfather's case, I never really got to know him enough because I was so young. And like I said, bits and pieces, random little memories here and there, stuff that I remember, and rather than like complete full details that I can think of, and just random stuff like that. And even with pets, I had a dog, and unfortunately she died. She was only 5. She died really young, and of course I wish she was here because she was only 5 years old. Generally, that's very young. Like just period, that's very young for a dog to die. And she was of course really sick, so she had to be put down. But of course I wish she was here. And it would be different. It would be really different living here now because at the time when she died, I wasn't living here, so I didn't see her as much anymore because she was like when my dad and stepmom and stepsister moved here, she went with them, and my dad would bring her back to the old house, and she'd stay with me and my uncle for a week or two, and she'd just stay over, so we'd still see her, of course. But it's a lot different than us living in the same house again, and it was just really sad that happened. Obviously, in general, it's sad that it happened, but then it kind of really set in when I moved here, and we didn't really have that connection because we couldn't because she was gone. But I wish she was here too because of course as anyone with a pet knows, having a pet is the same as having a sibling. They just don't really talk, so it's probably less annoying, I guess. But it's still the same thing. Just like owning a pet is like having a kid that does not talk, and is a bit less expensive, I guess. Don't have to spend money on school, but you have to clean up poop, so balance it out, I guess. I don't know. But once again, it kind of on the same level. We just play around, and I'd have to deal with her trying to, like, I don't know, come in my room and lick my face or something silly like that, because that's what dogs do. They will sniff you and lick you when you can't defend yourself. But I wish she was here too. But all types of things, just family in general. Like just that type of thing. Not having someone in your life that you wish was there, or losing someone so long ago that you can like hardly remember them outside of the little memories that you have. It does affect who you are, and the reason I chose this topic before my birthday is because it is the one that has I have the most to talk about. It's actually an important issue compared to all the other stupid stuff I did in the videos, which I guess the only other thing that really mattered was like what shaped me to be who I am, and like the random old toys I showed off and things like that, just to show my interest through time, and how I still love all these same silly little things because I'm just always a kid at heart. And I guess I'm still a kid because I'm only turning 21. But this one's obviously a lot more important. It's family, and even more than that, it's family that I never got to really know. So that's kind of why I did this video. And I don't know what comments you could possibly have. I mean, you could obviously, if you have any, you can obviously put them below. Relate, how it affects you, things like that. But I don't want people to think of like all the sad stuff, although you kind of probably are already because you're watching this video. But thanks for watching. And if there is anything you have to say, obviously, like I said, put it below. And just thanks for watching.